Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Hello? Hello? Silent, turn Puma.
Hello, yes.
Hello, I'm Deputy Minister Kap. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Ma. Mr. Bauer speaking. The chairperson's not on the platform, but Mambibi, the whip of the committee, is on the platform. Mambibi?
Yes.
Hello, Ma'am Kapa, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, my
I'm
sweetheart.
fine, I'm
And how
fine.
you guys?
And yourself?
I'm also okay, my Zozo.
Okay, okay, let me wait then until we start. Thank you.
Okay, sweetheart. No, that's fine. We'll wait for the chairperson. I think he'll be in now. Thanks, Mama.
Good morning, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen.
Recording in progress.
Aska is 10 o'clock. All members are in the platform. Are we forming
Chairperson,
quorum so that we can start?
we don't need a quorum to receive a briefing. We have 4 members present. More will follow, Chair, so we could proceed if you'd wish.
So the department are in. Please.
That's correct, Chair.
Okay. Let me give them 3 minutes and then we'll be starting. Aska? Aska?
Chairperson,
Hello?
yes, Chair.
Yes. I just want to check with you. The relevant department, the person who's presenting, is it in the meeting so that we can start?
I will give the rights to Mr. Ralph Sibofelo because Dr. Makafula is not on the platform yet. So I'll give it to the PLO, Mr. Sibofelo, and he's got it. So he will run the presentation and the department will assign someone to present, Chair. I've just spoken to them.
Okay. Let me formally start the meeting. If I can see members are in the on a platform, let me not waste time to start the meeting. Yes, ma'am.
If I get cut off, I'm in a very bad area of network, but I'm in a meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Honorable Mkause, we noted that apology, but let's hope you are not going to get cut off. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting with our today's meeting, the very important meeting of the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform, Rural Development. It is important. We are meeting with the department today, honorable members, where farmers are in a difficult situation where some farmers lost their livestock during the fires that was occurred in the country, because it's not only in the province, some province, and some farmers lost their animals, some farmers lost their life because of the fire. We hope the department is trying to do something, because even the grazing farmers are in a predicament. They don't have grazing land, or the grazing was destroyed by a fire. So you are welcome, department and honorable members, to this meeting. I am not going to waste time. I'm going to check the agenda, and after the agenda, I am going to check with the apologies. Aska, today's agenda.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Aska.
The agenda today's chairperson is the report back by the department on the executive undertakings of the Ugu district in KZN, taking parliament to the people. And then we were supposed to do the negotiating mandates of Eastern Cape on the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill, adoption of the minutes, and that would be the business of the day, Chair.
Okay. No, thank you very much. I think I received the information from the Eastern Cape. They were saying they are not ready with the mandate. So I propose that we remove that item from the agenda, because we are not going to deal with it as they are not ready. Okay. Honorable members, here is the agenda in front of us. Do we want to adopt it, or we want to add something? Honorable Bibi?
Good morning, my chairperson, Mama. I move for the adoption of the agenda, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Let me second you, Honorable Bibi. The next item, key apologies. Do we have any apology except the one for Honorable Mamu Kause, if she can get cut off during the meeting? She's in the bed area. Her network is not good.
Okay, no apologies my side.
No apologies. Let me formally welcome the Deputy Minister, Mama Kaba.
Sorry, my chairperson.
Never mind, welcome.
Mama, you are welcome to our meeting. We are so excited to see you on the platform. For you to be here with us, yeah, it's an honor. So we are so excited, happy to see you. And then I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to give you the platform to do a political overview. and you can give the department to present.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Can I bring greetings from my department to all members, honorable members, and all participants in the platform. I accept your welcome, and I don't have issues with the kappa or kappa. Our syllabus is very broad. Yes. Well, we appreciate the opportunity for the honorable members in the assembly, whether it's the NCOP or portfolio committee of the National Party. It is important for us to report. So we appreciate the opportunity and your time. The report that we are bringing to the select committee is a report that was once presented to the parliament by NCOP on their report when they were, to the NCOP when they were reporting about their outreach program, taking parliament to people, which was in Ugu. And I'm happy to say, yes, indeed, we were all on the ground, myself, the deputy minister, and also the NCOP and the work. And we actually interacted with communities while we were on site. So I will definitely give to the department KZN to actually give us, because the site that we are reporting on is directly in KZN. But let me make no mistake and acknowledge what the chair's opening remarks are talking to us about fires, about disasters, as well about the avian fever now that is destroying poultry. But in any way, we have actually reported some of these, the current report. We keep on ensuring that also MECs last night participated in the MINMEC, where we were actually bringing a national report while we expect them to give us individual reports on poultry. Meeting is a very important aspect. That's why I'm also excited having heard what the chair is talking about. We're all doing the same work. And I'm happy, therefore, to just say those few words on the issue of disasters that are attacking our farmers, and also acknowledging the concern. And we'll always be ready to come and give a report if members feel, no, let's talk about poultry, let's talk about whatever disaster that has come. We thank you, and we assure the select committee that we are always willing to be asked questions. Can I therefore, through your permission, members of the select committee, to give to the province to give us a report, given the fact that the DDG, Ms. Litomba, is actually having a difficulty. Her mother is in hospital as we speak. She's attending to that, and therefore has requested the PSC in KZN, because they are directly affected by the report, to give a report. I will therefore request Mr. Honorable Mr. to give the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DM. They can start. Department, you can start.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, DM, and all members of the Portfolio Committee. And thank you for this opportunity. I'm DDG Letompa, who's going to introduce Mr. Mnaweni to take over, as I'm currently in the hospital in a noisy place. Thank you for this opportunity. Over to you, Ntate Mnaweni.
We wish you, your mother, speed recovering, DDG.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please allow me, Chair, to say something to the department. I have read this report, and I think Honorable Litomba, Miss Litomba, you can take over if your chief director is not available, but the report can actually be put in the screen. I've gone through it so that we can talk on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DM. I will take over in the meantime, because he did send me a message to say he's struggling to hear, but IT is in the interest of time. Can you move to the next? The report, indeed, as it was presented by DM Kappa, it's the visit by the select committee to KZN in one of the districts. The report will cover the background, the summaries and challenges that were noted by the select committee, and the recommendations that we need to present. As indicated last year, the 14th to 18th November, the select committee visited Ugu district, and there were key issues that were highlighted that needed clarity from the department, and there were also recommendations that were made that will assist in the acceleration of the land reform program and the provision of support to the farmers that were affected. There were key number of challenges that were noted by the select committee, which the first I've categorized the challenges. The first one was in terms of the farmer organized into cooperatives, especially those women, because there were issues about the organization of those farmers into cooperatives, and the challenges that were wide-ranging. But typically the lack of access to land and the challenges with the delivery of inputs and mechanized services and lack of fencing within those farms that were identified. The response from the department, as members have noted, is that the department indicated that mechanization, the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development provided the following support to those farmers, which is the mechanization, and they did also the land preparation, the production inputs in the form of seeds, fertilizers, and chemicals, fencing, and agricultural advice to some of the farmers were provided. These were mechanization and production inputs that in terms of the farmer production unit that were provided to those farmers. Fencing is provided through the Comprehensive Agriculture Support Program, which is housed within the department, while the advisory services is also provided through working together with the Provincial Department of Agriculture. Farmers are to be supported with agricultural input. That was one of the recommendations, that this is what the department is doing. We do provide farmers, and one of the issues is agricultural inputs. Can we move on? The next challenge that was noted by the select committee was about the South Coast sugarcane farmers, which were affected in terms of the floods that engulfed the KZN. Farmers were struggling to stay profitable in that area, and the sugar tax, which was one of the complaints which was raised by the farmers, and the distance to the nearest sugar mills, which is reducing the farmers' income from the production. So that the department, what the department has done, the department supported all of the flood-affected farmers with agricultural inputs, including fertilizer and the seeds for the sugarcane. And more than 10,000 small-scale sugarcane growers were also supported with a total of 116,000 bags of fertilizer across 11 mill areas in the 6 districts that were affected in KwaZulu-Natal to cover about 23,000 hectares. Can you move on? These were some of the deliveries to the farmers. The third challenge that was noted by the members of the select committee was the cheap banana imports from the neighboring countries, which is affecting the local industry. And the rural farmers are also struggling because of production and transport costs. And they cannot compete. Those were the issues that were reported by the farmers, that they cannot compete with the import that's coming from the neighboring country. So what the Department of Rural Development did was to work together with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is working on the import-export policies and prescripts to assist the banana farmers, especially those that are in the borders of the countries, in Mozambique country, that influx those bananas into the country. We have also attached the Annexure A, which has the information. He indicated that also the data indicates that South Africa mostly imports bananas from Mozambique and Eswatini, and the Department of Trade and Industry and Cooperation through the International Trade Administration Commission are the departments that must assist in responding to some of the issues that were noted and reported to the select committee, and see what is it that the department, what the TTIC can do in terms of the dumping of those bananas by the neighboring countries. And some of the challenges were making funding application possible. Online means that only well-to-do farmers are accessible. Those were the comments coming from the select committee, that the department should change the modus operandi in terms of allowing the applications. The department will ensure that hard copies of the application documents are available and are accessible to all offices, including the ward satellite offices. That was a decision that was taken, which is currently happening. All of the applications are dropped to the different local offices and satellite offices. The only challenge is that the department is constrained in terms of the budget. And we made this a project to prioritize these issues. And the department will indeed in future ensure that we provide all of the support and those farmers with business plan, but they are also unable to access, those farmers who are unable to access the support. This is what we have promised to do, and this is what is currently happening, that we supported them with the business plans development, and we supported them even with the hard copies of applications to ensure that they do get access to compete with all other farmers. Can you move? There was also a strong demand from young individuals to support with the training skills development in order to enter the agricultural people, because the young people were engaged. They've shown interest. when there is insufficient training, because it was one of the issues that was noted by the select committee, insufficient mentoring of those young farmers, and farmers only receive a 2 weeks for training, which is very insufficient and cannot make them qualified farmers. The department responded to the issue to say that currently, we are responsible for maintenance of foot and mouth diseases in management in the areas and the fences. We wanted to make sure that where there are challenges, we fence those areas. The maintenance, international border fencing, we also now have made sure that with the Department of Public Works that the borders will have to be closed to ensure that some of those things that are coming over, especially those even affecting those provinces, we make sure that we contain those diseases in those areas, because mainly the issue was more about training people to manage the issues of foot and mouth diseases. And it was one of the issues which is a challenge to the department. Also, the issue of the vandalism of fences, especially in the neighboring countries, the fences that could have protected even the areas of the farm where there is this foot and mouth disease. There is a serious concern of vandalism. People are removing the fence, and especially in some areas like Kruger National Park, where there are quite a number of wild animals, people are removing the fence. It is a problem which the department is working together with SANDF to ensure that people do not remove the fence which is meant to protect the country. Can you move? And it's also the same thing where we have indicated that the individuals that are working, because as they were talking about the insufficient training that is provided by the department, we have taken into consideration that the undergraduate program, which is a 2-year placement to commercial farmers as part of training and mentoring of youth to venture into agricultural business and farming. We have also noted that the placement of 6 months contract for agricultural advisory to expose them to an agribusiness environment. So those are the undertakings that the department have made, and the department is following and is doing what they've indicated to the select committee. Can you continue?
Yes, ma'am. Continue, ma'am.
This one is, hello, ma'am?
No, you can continue, ma'am.
Okay.
Continue.
So we have also indicated that the communication has to be ongoing with the Department of Public Works because of the international boundaries, because the problem is with the international boundaries, and the Department of Environment and Fisheries, especially with the issues related to Kruger National Park, to ensure that the fence that should be protecting Kruger National Park, it remains solid. Can we move? There was also an issue about there's no market access to small-scale farmers to sell their produce. It's a complaint which has been raised to the select committee, and the department indicated that they are currently has engaged with the office of the premier in the province to provide the farmers with the solid contracts where Frimax farmers will receive a 7-year contract to supply potatoes. Hello Choice farmers have an unlimited market for crops and vegetables. Can you continue? There's also an issue that was raised, government, it was the same issue because they've indicated that Normally, when someone applies for a bank loan, because there were issues like the people are unable to receive even loans, those
Sorry,
that
Chairperson.
happen to get the loans,
Chairperson.
banks will.
Sorry, DDG. Yes, Honorable Magwala.
Thank you very much. I don't know, is it only me? While she's presenting, there's some noise at the back, like people are talking. So it's very much stepping on her presentation. Can you look at it? Because though when she's quiet, those noise happening at the back. So I don't know what's happening. That's the one.
You know, DDG, when she started, she mentioned that she's in an area, in the hospital. There is a lot of noise where she is.
Chair?
Yes, Honorable Laboski.
Can the DG on her screen where the microphone is, tap on the thing and go into, and there is a button that says block out background noise. Maybe that will help.
Okay. DDG? DDG? Yeah, Honorable Laboskafni, can you repeat it, ma'am, so that she can get where where she can press on her screen?
I'll do so, ma'am.
On the button where your screen is, you go into on the, what is it, that's, I don't know what that name is, a driehoekie. Press on that button, then it will take you to the background of your screen and all those things. Down there beneath it is a thing that says background noise. When you press that button, you erase all the background noise.
Thank you, Honorable Labuskafni. I hope you got it, DDG.
Honorable members, Mtatumda Weni is ready to take over.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Good morning, honorable members and colleagues, DDG. Apologies for the mishap. I had a problem with connections. IT has assisted. If allowed, I will then take over from where DDG left off. Can I confirm that I am audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. I think we are on this slide 14, where the key challenge was that government needs to assist with small business development in order to boost the rural and township economy. When someone applies for a business loan, banks require contribution from the applicant, normally at a rate of 5%. Applicants simply do not have the capital to comply with this requirement. We have responded to say, in terms of our mandate and our programs, we do have 2 producer support interventions. The first one is the CASP, which we all know, which we implement through the provincial departments, which is aimed at resourcing and equipping producers towards increased food production and other value chain activities. The application and management process are managed by the Provincial Department of Agriculture. The second one, which is not listed here, which might have been a mistype, is LDS, the Land Development Support, which we deploy to all our farms, plus farms particularly, that are leased from the department by farmers. Business plans are developed by commodity organizations, and those business plans determine the level of support that is required by the farmer as an assistance from government to enter the commercial space by that farmer. Of course, we also do have other support which is not listed here For instance, in enterprise development, which is under EDTM, economic development and EDTM, we do support a number of cooperatives and other enterprises to crop, to farm, but also we have non-agricultural support that we deploy. For instance, we do support those who are doing sewing. We do support other enterprises, for instance, for block making. We have a number of NARISEC enterprises that we support for tissue paper making. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Then I think I've covered these areas. So what I will add here is the blended finance scheme also, which is newly implemented with the IDC and the Land Bank, where we support both land acquisition and we support farm development. And together with the Land Bank in the province, we have been on the roadshow to try and familiarize farmers with this new scheme, which is a blended finance. Thank you very much. Can we go to the next one? Yes, we also do link farmers with the Department of Economic Development because we do work very closely, especially the sugarcane farmers in the province. We work closely with economic development to link those farmers that we have not supported. As we speak, economic development had given a grant through SAFTA as a commodity organization for seed cane for the farmers. Next slide, please. This challenge, it says government needs to assist with small business development in order to boost the rural and township economy. When someone applies for a loan, it's probably the same thing. And this is just some of the examples of some of the support I was talking to that we have deployed, particularly in this region. We have assisted that lady who owns Zuri Skin as an enterprise with 3.1 million. And we have listed the support that 3.1 million will be going into raw material packaging. I'm not going to mention everything in the interest of time. We have done some deliveries already. That specific project is expected to recruit 15 youth under NARISEC so that we can also develop those youth and skill them in chemical manufacturing. The enterprise is involved in skin manufacturing activities using natural herbs. We have recruited that 15, and in fact, they are now in Saldanha Bay at the Navy base, where they will be undergoing their leadership training. Next slide, please. And those are just the pictures of what has been delivered already. Number 8, a lack of cell phone towers impedes business and employment. Tenders and jobs are advertised online, but people living in areas without cell phones or internet services do not see these advertisements. While it is not necessarily our mandate, of course it was raised. We have stated that the Department of Communication is best placed to respond. Collaborative mechanisms to enhance access are being investigated to explore with localized institutions to aid in the information distribution to enable those without gadgets to access information and submit requests. But we must mention that we do have social media and web-based distribution information channels that we have noted that a lot of youth particularly use to interact with the department and to access some of the adverts that we put on those social media. Next slide, please. Rural nature makes dealing with stock theft very difficult. It takes too long for police to reach the area as farmers struggle to raise alarm about this in the area. A lack of cell phone services is the main challenge. Farmers suggest that the communities is supplied with radios in order to communicate with police directly when stock theft. Our response is that the South African Police and Department of Cooperative and Traditional Affairs are best placed to respond to this. But I must add that we do sit as a department and as an office in the province. We do sit in an intergovernmental structure that is a joint command where the offices are just next door to us, where security matters on farms are discussed as part of the agenda. And we do contribute to that process and come up with strategies on how SAPS can assist us, especially on areas of stock theft and general theft on farms and just safety of our farmers. So we do participate in that structure. Next slide, please. Executive undertakings, responses by Honorable Tapa. There is a strategy on industrialization in emerging agricultural businesses. I think this just lists what the DM had shared at the meeting. And it talks about the services that we do. We say under recommendation that the department has in the main 2 producer supporting interventions. I won't go into it again. It's something that has been gone into in the other slide. Thank you. Next slide. So on this project, Ikeja Farming Services, there are 2 dams on this farm that are in poor condition. The executive undertaking was that the DDM, which is in the process of being implemented, would assist in addressing some of the challenges that were raised, which means we needed to talk to other players, role players in the different spheres of government. To date, the following activities have been rendered, and these were rendered mainly by the Provincial Department of Agriculture in the province. So they have done the dam rehabilitation, the chemical application to improve water quality, provision of production inputs, including fertilizer, and support to access land preparation. In addition, the farmer had previously received recapitalization and development funds approved in 2014 October. The funding was for the development of infrastructure, production inputs, machinery, and implements on the farm. An amount of 3.55 was approved and transferred into the joint bank account of Ikeja Farming Services. Just to add that we are now busy trying to sort out reconciliation matters in terms of our policy with this project, because they have not been finalized, and so we can't approve further funding until the project is cleared in terms of accounting for the funds that were extended to it. Can we go to the next slide? The Uko Fresh Produce Market was destroyed during the recent unrest and floods, and it has not been rebuilt following assessment that was conducted by the department. This market was a key ripening support for bananas, and this service is no longer available. The Deputy Minister made an undertaking that a farmer production center will be established to create a platform for farmers to deal with the challenges that are experienced by farmers, where they will each also share the best practice amongst each other. The response is that the department awaits an application from Uku municipality, as the market is an entity. There is also already a farmer production support unit in Horseshoe within Renkonyeni municipality, where the department has supported farmers with 3 tractors, implements, production, and personnel as part of FPSU. What is also in the planning, which we didn't include here because we haven't started it, but we already have provided budget for it, is that we are also developing a farmer production support unit in Sezela, which is within Ugu, and in partnership with SAFTA. We are just having challenges with starting that project, although everything has been approved, but we have had challenges with the site that was initially identified for that infrastructure to be developed on. Can we go to the next slide? The Ugu fresh produce market was destroyed during the recent unrest and floods. I think this is a repetition, but the recommendation deals with what has been dealt with before, particularly the issues around the bananas, which are being imported from Mozambique, and it's talking about the regulations that must be developed by government. And we are suggesting that the Sugar Act of 1978 should be reviewed, and these activities are within the purview of the Department of Trade and Industry. Thank you. Next slide. This talks to the challenges of bananas again. And we are responding to say that the data indicates that South Africa mostly imports bananas from Mozambique and Eswatini. And as we've already said, the DTIC through its ITAC are the most suitable person that are attending to this matter. Can we go to the next one? The challenge was that Tonga Tulet is undergoing business rescue, and this has a negative impact on the local sugar industry. DTIC is responding to the issues together with the players in the province, SAFTA, Cane Growers Association, and SASA. We have been involved on the side in terms of developing a feasibility plan. We have started in Makatini, but we are looking at whether it is viable to develop new mills in the province. But I mean, the plan is still quite in its very early stages. I think this matter also talks to this challenge of the Sezela sugar mill, which is old and suffers frequent breakdowns. The state of the mill reduces its capacity, which in turn being developed by the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Further to that, in dealing with issues relating to transportation concerns, I think it talks to the same issue, but as we said, it's within the ambit of DTIC to deal with these matters. We only deal with primary production and agro-processing. Thank you. 15. This talks to the same issue of the closure of Umzimkhulu sugar mill, impact on additional transportation costs as the sugar cane must now be sent to Sezela sugar mill. Department of Agriculture, Rural Development is working with SAFTA to reopen Umzimkhulu sugar mill to reduce transportation costs. Of course, those discussions also involve DTIC because it's not our main mandate, but we are simply coordinating the talks. But the Sezela mill also that I spoke to, partly is to support farmers with regards to transportation, because we do acquire or procure trucks in this FPSU to assist farmers, depending on the needs assessment for each FPSU. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. I think this just talks to what I've already alluded to, the Sazela FPSU. We intend constructing, but besides the fact that it is not yet constructed, it is not started, we have already started supporting the farmers with the mechanization and equipment that is listed there, which include tractors, your low bed, 6-ton trucks, slashers, fire tankers, boom sprayers, and other equipment. And we have also supported with fertilizer for ratoon management. We have registered that entity, the Sazela FPSU Cooperative, which we are capacitating to be managing the FPSU once it is fully operational. Next slide, please. Funding models remain a challenge. Recap is not sufficient to cover all needs, and either a lack of title deeds or poor creditworthiness as a result of periods of poor management hampers access to finance. I think we here, in terms of recap, we no longer have recap. We now use the Policy for Land Development Support, LDS, which is what we are using to support farmers. But in addition to that, we are also supporting enterprises that are not necessarily on farms, that farm on communal land through our enterprise development unit. We are also supporting, for instance, Sinecono farmers have been linked with local small enterprise development agency in Potchefstroom for the submission of a proposal regarding vehicle request and other additional support to expand the project. The recommendation is that the Department of Agriculture should engage the Department of Small Business, Provincial Treasury, and big companies to assist with the expansion and sustainability of the project. We do have a subcommittee that we sit with the various departments, which includes economic development in the province, the commodity organization, where we are discussing particularly the development of the Sazela FPSU specifically for this purpose, where we are able to support farmers with regards to issues of transport particularly, but also mechanization. Next slide, please. Some project founders died through COVID, and this has led to staff shortage. Department of Agriculture is currently assisting with transport to move produce to platforms to enhance the market access apart from the departmental intervention. An initiative called RASET in the province by the provincial government, the Radical Agrarian Socio-Economic Transformation, which is driven by the Department of Economic Development, is also assisting in this regard. The Department of Agriculture was requested to assist with provision of transportation and marketing the produce. Next slide, please. This is Sinecono Poultry Project. There is no branding and signage for the project, and thus communication of the produce to the target market is a challenge. Department of Agriculture assisted farmers in terms of financial planning, and branding inclusion is included from the budget allocated to the project. Department of Agriculture will engage with SEDA to assist the project with branding and signage, and the project has been referred to SEDA. Can we go to the next one? There are other issues that feed is expensive and unaffordable. The external market is the main challenge, as the project is currently supplying only locals. Most shops have approached, or they have approached prefer halal chicken. That is a challenge to them as they are currently lacking capabilities to produce chicken. The Department of Agriculture, together with the Department of Education, are working together and have access to markets. The Department of Agriculture has also engaged the economic section within DART to provide training to farmers for the following areas: South African good agricultural practices, that is GAP, smallholder horticulture empowerment and promotion, which is the SHAP training, halal training and compliance, and broiler short courses and slaughtering. So in brief, for this project, these are the trainings that are being in the pipeline for including this project on those areas. And we go to the next slide, please. They mentioned that there is a shortage of agricultural advisors in the district to projects of this nature. Only one agricultural advisor is allocated to mentor and service all the farms under Reinkonyeni, and this allocation is not adequate. The response is that the department has deployed an agricultural advisor in each ward within the district, including all wards from the Reinkonyeni local municipality. Next slide, please. The other issue was that the committee had learned that after financial losses were suffered under the strategic, partner, the Ratombo CPA applied for recap before the current redirection of CASP to COVID, but has not been able to secure any funding. The committee requests feedback on reasons for turning down the application, particularly considering the challenges it is facing with the maintenance and development of the farms returned to the community at great cost. The response is that there's been a backlog on CPAs that needed to be funded due to budgetary constraints. And as we honorable members probably know, a budget has further been cut and we have had to withdraw funding to some of the projects we had planned for this financial year. Can we take the next one? It's still the same project. Recent floods had an impact on the operation of this project as production was delayed and infrastructure was affected. Response is that the department assisted with agricultural inputs, site filling, fencing, and irrigation. This was completed and handed over to the farmers. Next one. That was the last slide. Thank you very much, Chairperson and honorable members.
Thank you very much, Mr. I forgot the name, for your presentation. Say it again.
Ndaweni.
Ndaweni. Thank you very much, Mr. Ndaweni, for your presentation. We really appreciate this presentation. Honorable members, I am not going to waste time. I think I will start with Honorable Laboskafni because she has apologized that she will leave the meeting at 11:30 or somewhere there. If she has a question before she left the meeting, I will allow her, and then follow by Honorable Mama Winnie. Honorable Laboskafni.
And also PP Chairperson, I don't have Luguzane what on my gadget, sorry.
Oh, that Luguzane.
Yes,
yes, ma'am. Understand. Honorable Kathy. Okay. It seems she's already left. Oh, she's in the meeting. Honorable Kathy, do you have any question before you left? In the meantime, Mama Ngwenya, you can start.
Thanks, Chair.
Honorable. Yes, Mama, you can start.
Thanks, Chair. And good morning to all the members. Chairperson, thank you for recognizing me. And let me take this opportunity to acknowledge everyone present in the meeting and say all protocol observed. Chairperson, let me thank the department for providing us with details and comprehensive presentation. Honorable Chairperson, I would like to ask the following question. I would like to find out on whether the department has met and communicated its responses that it has provided to the report of taking parliament to the people in Ogu district with the other relevant spheres of government and the affected people. Chair, the Ogu district municipality consists of 86 municipality wards, which consist of 4 local municipality, namely Umdoni, Umzumbe, Umuzwabantu, and Rey Nkonyeni, and has 40 traditional council areas. Chair, communication is very important. I want to check that if is yes, how did the department communicate with the people of Ogu district and KZN in general about your response to the reports? If no, why not? If yes, what are the details of your engagement with the people on your responses? I thank you, Chairperson. I'll come again if there's still time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. Honorable Bibi. Mama.
Thank you very much, Mama, Chairpersons. Greetings to the DM, Mamkapa, and also greetings to Abakaya Bam, the department from KZN. Chairperson, I'm very thrilled to hear this briefing today to show that at least there's a progress that was done since we visited KZN on the 14th and 18th, the Take Parliament to the People. It shows that the department has done quite a good job and also not shying away to show out their challenges that maybe one can help on that. Chairperson, on that note, I've got 2 questions, Chairperson. Question number 1 is on slide number 10. The response to challenge number 5. It is very vague, Chairperson, because it lacks the number of young individuals that have been supported and benefited from the training and also skills development to enter agricultural industry. And also I acknowledge and commend the educational programs which the department provided. But as a committee, we need to know the specifics insofar as the number of young people which have been benefited in terms of your response in slide number 10. So can the department please provide clarity on this slide about how many young people have benefited in this training and skills program? Number 2, Chairperson, the department seems to have most of the relevant information regarding the services that it provides to the people. But what seems to be a challenge is how the information on your services can be reached and be accessible by the people. But what seems to be a challenge also is how the information on your services can be reached and also accessible, as I've mentioned, to the people from the back of the beyond areas. Now, how can the department enhance its marketing and public relations strategy on its services to be easily accessible by the people of Uku District and also KZN in general? Thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mama. Any hand? Okay. Let me.
Thanks, Chair.
Oh, you wanted to come again, Mama?
Yebo, Mama.
Wow, ngena, Mama, ngena.
Yeah, Sakuba, Chair.
Mama.
Chairperson, you remember that when we go to the taking parliament to the people, my question is going to base on that report and on what we have seen on our oversight. Chair, there are no markets created for small-scale farmers to sell their product at the result in the crop losses. I'm happy ukuba umama uchapha khona because waze waya laphayana emobeni kolakhi whereby they were crying about banana babo abasathenga. But there are people who are coming from outside the country that are selling bananas cheaper than them. Then logo kuwisa umnotho wabo njengosomabhizinisi abancane. Now, Chair, the department lists 2 interventions regarding market creation. The first only applies to potatoes, and the second is referred to as unlimited. Can the department please provide greater details regarding the number of the farmers that benefit from this intervention and the percentages of local production taken up by these 2 markets? Ngiyabonga, Chairperson. Enkosi.
Enkosi, Mama. Thank you very much. Any members who want to say something before I can? Okay. DM, I really appreciate the response and the detailed presentation, but I just want to ask 2 or 3 questions. Farmers to be supported with agricultural inputs. The department lists its program that support farmers with inputs and agricultural services, but they do not state whether all these areas are available in Ugu. And how many facilities services are offered, and how many of the district farmers are assisted annually? These need to be clarified, Honorable TM and DTG. The second question is the department must ensure that rural farmers are also supported because they are staying very, very, very far from town and they don't even know what is happening in town at some point. As these are the farmers with a business plan, but they are unable to access the support from the department. The department should respond and indicate that the hard application forms are available at the district offices. but the budget constraint result in our prioritization of a project. They only prioritize the project, but not all the application are allowed to get assistance. Those response does not clarify how many small-scale farmers are successfully apply for support and what are the scale of support in this they receive. The department should provide a greater details about the scales and impact of support to the small-scale farmers, because if they generalize, say we have supported the small-scale farmers, but they don't give us a list or just show us something tangible that indeed we have assisted the small-scale farmers. And then my last question, it will be this: there is a strong demand for young individuals to be supported with the training and skills. Like you mentioned in your presentation that there are some youth that were trained, but now also to my knowledge, DM, yes, I know there is this training project, but after the training, those young people, they were not placed somewhere. They are still around roaming the street. I don't know, but they were trained and then from there they were left. They don't get support again from the department. So please make sure that after this training, the young people must be placed or must be supported financially with those inputs of agriculture. Other questions, DM, because I have a lot of questions in front of me that I wanted to ask. We will send to the department and then department will respond in writing. Thank you. Now I give back to you for response. Department, DM.
Thank you, Chair. I think my response will be short. We have noted the questions, especially where honorable members are asking for detail. We will revise the report and actually provide the detail with names and numbers of each beneficiary and budget that was extended and the services that were supported for each beneficiary. The Honorable Ngwenya asked a question about communicating our response to stakeholders. Unfortunately, we have not yet, and we do undertake to do so, obviously with regard to stakeholders, beneficiaries particularly. We do interact with them on an ongoing basis. So they are aware of what is happening. Perhaps the area where we may have been lax is going back particularly to local government and interacting with them, which we will do in very shortly. We will request to to meet with the local economic development manager in Oku district and perhaps brief them on the matter, and if need be, perhaps also present to their municipality council. There was a question on slide 10. We will provide the information on the young people in writing to the honorable members to the committee. On how the department can market its services and with regards to issues of accessibility. We do have local offices in the deepest rural areas, particularly through the Provincial Department of Agriculture that we work very closely with. So there are sessions that are held with farmers in those areas through these local offices. But through our own communications unit, as well as a national department and a local office in the province, we do conduct your community, stakeholder management sessions. But because we are district-based, we normally conduct them in the districts. However, we will try to extend them to all areas, particularly, as the honorable member said, in the very deepest rural areas. Although we do work in the very deepest rural areas as a department, you do find a lot of our projects there where you won't find a network. Again, the issues of those two markets we spoke about, we will provide the numbers in writing as the honorable member requested. We will also provide on how many farmers are assisted. Perhaps what we will do, we will confine the information to this term of government in terms of how many farmers we have assisted with the various programs. Yes, I have also noted the comment on Narisek. Perhaps the honorable member would be happy to know that we have changed the policy on Narisek and the approach. We no longer recruit en masse and train them, and after that we have nowhere to place them. We now start with securing employment or placement, or let me just say placement for the participants that we recruit. So before we recruit, we know where the participant will go after the training. For instance, the ones I've referred to in here, the 15 youth that we have recruited for Narisek who are currently doing leadership training in Saldanha. We already know that when they finish their training, both the leadership and the skills development, they will be going to work with that project we are supporting with 3.1 million, the Zuri Skin Manufacturing Project. Similarly, in different districts, we have recruited a number of youth that are linked with, what's that security company? They are linked with Hartfield, others are linked with motor mechanics and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is that we now recruit for a purpose, so that when that youth leaves the program, they already have placement. For instance, previously we have recruited a few from Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma municipality that we worked with the local municipality as traffic officers, where they are now placed. It was the same within Nkandla municipality. And also firefighters we have recruited specifically for certain municipality. I think it was Herikwala district municipality. So I'm trying to make the point that we have changed the policy. We recruit for a purpose and no longer just numbers. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Ndate. We will send you all the questions that were asked so that you can respond in writing. Thank you very much for your response. DM, can you close giving us the closing remarks? Then after that, the department are released and the members of the committee must remain and continue the business of the committee.
Thank you very much, Chair. If before I really conclude, you can just give me something like 4 minutes so that I can highlight some response to in assisting what the Chief Director has put forward.
Okay, ma'am.
This report, and indeed I want to address it to the honorable members that asked these questions and try and provide clarity while fully agreeing with the approach the Select Committee is taking. In the first place, indeed, the honorable member cites us going to that particular project, and their issues were specific and need not to be clouded with the other responses. The very specificity that our members are calling for is indeed correct. Because I do believe we could have gone back together with the department to that farmer support center that we went to, and not only talk about the tractors, because it was not about tractors, it's about consolidating and actually providing governance and ensuring that that structure is fit for purpose. This has not been happened, I fully agree. And I still want us to pursue that. I'll come back to the confusion of whether it is within rural development or with the agriculture department. This confusion is caused by refusing being negative to one department, which is agriculture, land reform, and rural development. The issue that some things happened when there were two departments, that of rural development and then the rest being agriculture. I think we need to be honest to ourselves as the department and actually not only merge, but integrate, so that there's no opportunity where we sit here in front of the Select Committee nationally and say we refer matters. Matters should sit where they belong. I think the DDGs have a lot in their hands to actually ensure this, that it happens. I know that what is new is always repelled by what is old. Please bear with us, honorable members. This issue requires a lot of effort to inculcate that we cannot continue reporting and doing this. The issue must sit where it belongs. This report now depicts what rural development does and is short of saying how does it make impact on the service both the committee members that were there as the host as well as the farmers. And farmers expected a report back to them specifically in their areas. And I must state why NCOP went there. It is because they knew that there was funding given to those people. and therefore they wanted progress. They also wanted to know where land has been given, whether it has been actually utilized effectively post giving of any other asset by government. That was the reason why we went there. And then the second one, we went to a bigger meeting department, where the bigger meeting was not going to talk only about agriculture or about, we were there as one department. Hence, I spoke after the MEC for agriculture had spoken. And therefore, the response to all these matters that were raised in that meeting, that were talking to Ugu, were supposed to have a separate report, because it was not specific for what the NCOP had visited there. But we also agreed in that meeting verbally. That's why it also comes to say, I said this because I was speaking as a rep for the department, because we were invited to that meeting of Ugu district. And therefore, these matters that cut across cannot only also include these which were specific visits, which needed a specific attention, though the attention, but the total response, honorable members, is that we were supposed to go there as KZN province back to that meeting and further listen carefully, because this matter was in a rally form or in Imbizo form, where everyone speaks and maybe 10 people from one project or from one ward. So the issue was to go there with also economic development and agriculture and the entire department. But that has not happened, and we have been following up with the province of KZN, including the premier. But I think we'll pursue that, because for us to be coordinated, we need to be under one roof. We need to have one point of accounting. And so to be able to say, we know what the right hand is, the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. On the issue of the gaps, honorable members, these gaps will continue to be there because each department does what it does and is not integrated with the total amount of service delivery. But I'm happy to inform that this morning we went there under a committee that is led by the president, Minister Nchaveni, all the deputy ministers that are in the presidency. It is known as a coordinating service delivery coordinating committee, where now I will ensure, Chair, that I take my copy and give it to you, because in that regard, it speaks to say these were the matters that the whole government had complained about, of gaps in information. Part of information there, we find that also we don't know, not unless we are given that report, which tells us to cap gaps in information by various departments about each department have been sorted by this type of arrangement. It's helped us and it's helping me, because as I was coming here, I knew exactly what you have already alluded to, that there will be gaps, there will be no linkages, you won't know whether service delivery in a ward, as you specific, in a traditional authority, as the chair states, has been attended to. And then you can check the impact of the department. It is unfortunate. There's less keenness, but rural development is directly charged with that coordination. not to know what it does, because it's not a standalone. Rural development is for all. And therefore, rural development as a coordinator, as a branch, need to know where the water goes to that school, because that's rural development. So rural development cannot be seen as service delivery per se, but as a more of a coordinator. And I wish Multomba, together with Utata Ndaweni, are taking this note, because it's exactly what I was complaining about, that our report cannot be general. And we cannot have a general report, because what we need to do is, having known, and specifically, there has been a policy change in how we do NARISEC. I fully admit and agree that what the members have said about NARISEC has been the case, to an extent that now we have introduced an approach that those who went for training and were not placed and were recruited by national department and not directly from communities, including traditional authorities, informing us where there's backlog of skills and therefore needed skills. We have approved that report, and our recruitment is now not only on district, but to ensure that local municipalities are participating, because when they come back, by the way, our official stand, honorable members, is that we want to create a new type of a community, so that we create a space for those who go for training to go directly back and perform and operate from where they came from. So that at the end of the day, sinabantu abangabanye manje, ngoba thina sicabanga ngendlela esicabanga ngayo as adults, but its status now remains the same. Manje masifaka abantu abasha abangazuhamba, because immediately you are trained in traffic cop, you are likely to go. Trained in, a higher skill, you really feel you are no longer a local operator, rather a national one. And therefore, the community gives us people desert those people, status quo remains. We actually want to recruit and ensure that we indoctrinate the issue that you belong to this community. Your duty is to improve them. We want to work with you, try to make you feel like you are in Pretoria, why you are KwaNongoma, so that Inongoma one day sees it is exactly not a place to go home, but a place to go and seek employment. Please help us, honorable members. Help us indeed by ensuring that you sit on our toes, so that we are awake all the time. We're working hard to meet all what you have said. Talks to us that we are full of gaps. And even when you want a report, a specific one, we can generalize. And that doesn't work. Sometimes you must say to us, tell us what is happening in Ward 15 in Nkandla, so that we can be able not to say they were given this, to say what impact what we gave them has actually been done. We thank you for the opportunity. We apologize as a department as a whole on behalf of the minister, where we could not live up to your expectation and seek to be really reliant by ensuring that we respond to what our superiors, our supervisors, if I may use that one, and also to be able to tell us what is it that they stand for as NCOP, and what they want us to do to them and for their people. I thank you very much, and I really apologize if I took time, but I felt the nature of report wanted me to make some sort of apology, and it's not about numbers, it's not about individuals, it's about a block of change in a district, including our traditional authorities. Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Chair.
Oh, thank you very much, DM. That's why the committee always wanted the political head. Look at how did you clarify all the issues. We really appreciate DM for your response and your accountability to us. Indeed, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We will send other questions to the department for them to respond in writing. And then they must respond before next week, Tuesday. Thank you very much, TM and the department. You are now released. Aska, while the department is getting out of the platform, we can continue with our meeting.
Yes, Chair. It is only the minutes of the last meeting, 26 September, Chair.
Okay.
I sent it to everybody.
And then before the minutes, Aska,
Yes, Chair.
how far is the study tour is concerned?
The application is with the House Chair's office. They said they will send it to all the relevant offices, being International Relations House Chair, Chief Whip, then Mr. Masondo's office. So they will send it from office to office. It's currently with them, Chair.
Are we not require, what do you call it, visa to go to those areas?
I've already contacted Dirko, and those very questions, visas, vaccinations, everything, I put to Dirko. They only responded. I sent them an email a week ago. They responded yesterday to say they are busy with it. They'll get back to me. In the meantime, all the members, I will send an email, because I also asked International Relations about the passports, or official passports of members of the delegation. It's members and staff. Members and staff will have to pay for their passports and claim back. Members will claim back from members' facility. Staff will claim back from committee section. So you have to go pay for the visa, for the passport at Home Affairs, and just claim it back, because Dirko is now charging for officials' passports. It's no longer free. But as I get information from Dirko, I will send it out to the members. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Aska. Now we can continue with our minute. I hope honorable members heard what you have raised. Honorable members, did you receive the minutes on time and read them?
Yes, we did, Chairperson. Yes.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, here is the minutes. It need to be approved.
BP moves, Chairperson, for the adoption of the minutes. Thank you.
Any seconder?
Thanks, Chair. Ngwenya seconded, Chairperson.
Okay, the minutes are duly adopted. Let me take this opportunity, honorable members, to thank you for availing yourself for this meeting, and not only availing yourself, but participating fully in this meeting. We hope this will continue as it is now, because from time to time, members, you are doing very well to your committee. Thank you very much. See you this afternoon. This meeting is officially, before I close the meeting, honorable members, as you are aware that our sister committee chairperson, he lost his brother brutally, was killed in Ikruleni. The funeral of the brother is on Friday, this coming Friday, in Eastern Cape. Those who are available, they can just join the chairperson of the committee and also the member of this committee, Honorable Mkiva, in Eastern Cape when they are burying his brother. Thank you. It was just an announcement.
And condolences to the family. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Mama.
Mama.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.